The fairy tale start for Jaden Daniels continues, Gabe, and in a 12 by 12 lineup league. I love me some Bowers. He's pretty much unattainable most places you look. Tua is a great quarterback just to have for construction, but give me Jaden Daniels and Jonnu Smith here.
Oh, yeah, man. I mean, can we say best rookie QB season of all time?
Let's talk about it.
You got barbecue back there, and you didn't invite me. Hurt my feelings.
Hi, how you doing? I'm Ty at TyDeclare44. That's Gabe at IGabe_FF. And this is the All Gas Trade Show. Yes, welcome on in, everybody, and happy Saturday to all. Gabe, we're here. We got another one. How are you doing, my friend? And are you excited for today's show?
Oh, yeah, man. I'm always excited to get here and talk to you, man. As far as the weekend goes, got some fun stuff coming up with the family later today. So we'll see, man. And then we get to watch football, of course, tomorrow. Your Kansas City Chiefs, unfortunately, did take down my Houston Texans.
I was going to ask, how did that game go? I wasn't sure.
You can't see me right now, but I am giving you double birds over here.
just clenching the fist under the desk. Yes, no, it was a good weekend of games last weekend. Hopefully, we have some good games this Sunday. But I'll tell you what, Gabe, the best place that I like to enjoy watching the games, keeping up with everything, is the DD Fantasy Discord. We got a great game day chat in there. Everyone just ripping off live reactions, just takes off the cuff all the time. So a lot of ADV to be found in there. But if you want to be part of the best Dynasty community around in the space, anywhere, ddfantasyfootball.com. Use code TRADES, get in the All Conference Plus Discord tier. You get 50% off your first month going that way. If you want access to everything, Trinity Tracker, War Machine, Heisman House voice chat, recordings of all the live shows on stages, use code TRADEGOAT. Get in there, 50% off the GOAT tier for your first month. And Gabe, speaking of live things on stages, we're running our first giveaway for a live on-stage roster review. Contest closes tonight, Saturday, midnight. So get in there, hit the button, have your best chance of doing it. Gabe, are you excited to review someone's roster, give them some context? It's a good time to be in the Discord.
Oh yeah, man, absolutely. So I know we're going to be doing a lot of maybe even walking through trades with whoever the winner is. Really, just trying to make sure that we set your team up however you want to set it up. Right? It could be a rebuild, a retool. It could be competing, whatever you want. We will try to make it happen for you. So yeah, I'm super excited to get to help somebody in the community. Again, that's why we love doing this, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and if you want your roster reviewed, just shoot me and Gabe a DM. If you use our code, we'll get you one. We'll review everything, leave you some ideas. We'll move you forward. So, yeah, man, we got the All Gas Trade Show Dynasty League coming as well. Like I said, we have a lot of interest so far. So let us know if you're interested. It's January 25th. So just we'll get there.
Pump the brakes.
Right? We'll get there, but we are very excited to get that going. So don't worry, it is coming. Gabe, we're back in it. So, I mean, let's talk about it. So Jaden Daniels, I mean, arguably, not arguably top three, arguably one of the top one. Like, people want how people navigate Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and JD5 in the offseason is going to be pretty fascinating to watch, but don't think you can go wrong with either of those options right now. And I'll kick it back over to you, but I think a savvy part of this deal as well is in a 0.75 tight end premium, getting Jonnu Smith back when you move away Brock Bowers. Just talk about the deal in totality here, and yeah, man, like just talk about how you would approach even sending away a Brock Bowers. I mean, obviously I can get JD5. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, no. I mean, Brock Bowers is one of those tight ends, right? In such a hard landscape that he's one of the guys that you actually want. Him, Trey McBride, just some of the hammers right at the position, if you will. And so he's a guy that he's a difference maker. Tua, however, has kind of fallen into just a replaceable quarterback at this point, right? I mean, he was never overly he didn't have a lot of buzz on him outside of his rookie year, and then ever since all of his injuries and different things like that, and there's a lot of smoke going on with Tyreek right now in Miami, so who knows what that looks like for Tua. So getting into Jaden Daniels, man, I think this is a good way to utilize Brock Bowers, right? Where you can get a massive upgrade at a quarterback position, and then on top of it, you get a dart in Jonnu Smith, who, and I don't want to say dart because I think that term gets tossed around loosely, but he's a very good option. He's a very good option at the tight end position. Who knows what he'll be next year? But to your point, I think it's very savvy to get him in a deal, because while he's not going to produce, like Brock Bowers per se, I mean, he could definitely give you a lot of points at a depleted position. And so I think for me, Ty, and I'll ask you, I think I would take Jaden Daniels over 2 and Brock Bowers just a 2-for-1. I don't know if you feel any differently about that.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, start 12. So I mean, there's a bit more of a depth
12,
factor, but
yeah.
I'm probably just taking Jaden Daniels, man. Like, hook me onto that card. I know last week we reviewed a trade in a best ball deal where Dak, CeeDee, likely something else came back. So it was a bit of a different context there. Lineup league, like I'm just gonna take Daniels, man. And then you give me Jonnu, who our boy Ben Smith is saying. Ben Mason. Who the fuck is Smith? Jonnu Smith. Yeah, Ben Mason is saying Jonnu Smith is worth a first, like right now. So he was right before. Why can't he keep being right? So I would take Daniels over the package.
Yeah, that works out for me too. Like I said, I'm right there with you, and we'll see, man, if his magical run can continue this weekend.
Ben Smith. Okay, Ty. Good
Ben
stuff.
Sinnott, I think is what you meant, right?
Not even. I think it was just Jonnu Smith. I have Jonnu Smith and Ben just intertwined in my brain. All right, so we got a lot of good deals in the cord this week, so we'll hit as many as we can here while breaking things down. So Kanja, 12 team, start 9, Superflex, PPR, 1.5 tight end premium, and a 6-point passing touchdown. I like the 6-point passing touchdown here in a deal with lots of quarterbacks flying around. So Kanja sends away Dak Prescott, 107, 111, and 226 first. Gets back Matt Stafford.
Seconds, yeah.
What did I say first?
First, yeah.
Well, 26 seconds. Sorry to really make the sweatpants go down on some of the
I was going to say that
smash.
Don't even read the rest of the trade.
Yeah, never mind. 107, 111, 2 seconds in 26 in Dak for Stafford, Geno, AJ Brown, and a 2027 first. So, Gabe, we're already penciling in Jeremiah Smith in that 2027 first spot. But this is a deal we're gonna have to cross some stuff off. So help me start. Where does your mind go when you see this deal?
Oh, man, if we're penciling in Jeremiah Smith, then it's the entire right hand side for Jeremiah Smith, right? I mean, we were doing crazy things for Marvin Harrison Jr., so why not for Jeremiah Smith? No, man, I think to your point, a lot of people right now are really evaluating the class and seeing like, hey, can I move some of these late firsts or even seconds for another first in another year to maybe re-roll and hopefully get a better pick in the following year if I don't need to make that selection right now. So Ty, for me, I usually will go like 111. Ideally, I'd love to get a 26 first, but I'm okay with doing it for a 27 first. So kind of, again, moving back, it's right at the end of the first round, giving me a 27 first in hopes that it can become something better than the 111 is a deal that I'm willing to make. And so immediately, like for cross-off purposes, I would say a 111, 27 first. Where does your mind kind of go there?
Right in line with you, especially in a league where some of the 26 firsts are already spoken for. Yeah, let me get ahead on the 27 first. Yeah, like a late first, I'm definitely okay kicking it into the future. Let me kick the can. Yep. I don't need to make the decision now. I can keep that flexibility of having a first. So I would make that deal.
Yeah, I love that. And so for AJ Brown, right, I think he's the best asset in this deal by far. And so AJ Brown over the 107 pretty easily. Mm-hmm. Then I want to say 107 and Dak for AJ Brown. Where are you kind of at there?
107 and Dak for AJ Brown. I think
because you're taking AJ Brown over Dak, I'd imagine pretty easily.
Yes, and I'm taking AJ Brown over 107. I'd be interested to see like if the people are there with us on that AJ Brown and where that comes down. But I think when you put the two of them together, it's tougher not to say no to Dak in the 107, just knowing what the quarterback landscape looks like right now. And
yeah,
I'm sure we'll touch on it later in the show. Like people are trying to solve their quarterback needs now in January, knowing that the 25 class, shaky at quarterback. We don't know what's going to happen. So, getting rid of AJ Brown for Dak and the 1-7, I would take the Dak and the 1-7 there just because that's a hefty package. But I don't want to be in a spot where I'm giving up an asset that I would take over another just to get the quarterback solved,
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'll take Dak in 107, but we'll see what the rest of this shakes out to be.
Yeah. Okay. So then we'll go Geno Smith and a 26 second. Where does your mind go?
My mind goes, while I don't need to solve QB2 in January, getting Geno for a 26 second, hell, getting Stafford for a 26 second, it's pretty nice.
I was going to say, man, I think we've done a lot worse with our 26 seconds, 25, 26, 27 seconds than
Yes.
Geno Smith. I can definitely tell you that. I mean, as soon as Deshaun Watson tore his Achilles, it was Jameis Winston for a second, or, you know,
Bang.
like it just, yeah. Mac Jones for a second when Trevor Lawrence went down. Like it just, I definitely feel like there are worse ways that you can spend a second round draft pick than taking Geno Smith. So in that context, I mean, yeah, I would say Geno Smith, AJ Brown, Dak 107 and a second. It's probably a lot closer for you now, I'd imagine.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
The 6-point passing touchdown of it all. I mean, Stafford and
Yeah.
Geno can slide in there pretty nice. I don't need to solve that right now. If you feel like having those seconds keeps you more flexible and you can solve that cheaper or differently, cool. But I am here to get AJ Brown. Let me kick that late first at 27 and just give me 2 shots at quarterback over the one. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll take AJ Brown side of this one.
Perfect. Yeah. So then it would just leave Stafford in a second. And again, we've already talked about the way that we would value that. So yeah, man, give me conscious side. Again, I think it's a good deal for both parties. I don't think one necessarily ran away with it, just depending on what you're trying to do. But I definitely love getting myself into AJ Brown. And again, if I can get off some of the late first that I don't want to make those picks for, just kick the can down the road, man. I'm definitely all good with that.
Agreed. Yep. Start 9. I'm usually going to lean the hammer. So AJ Brown, let's do it. Okay. JDR 10-16. Got a 12-team super flex, full point PPR. I think it's a start 2 tight end with a 1.5 tight end premium. It's a start 10. So 12 by 10, PPR, super flex. Got to start 2 tight ends and 1.5 tight end premium. We got a deal full of receivers. So I guess that means one less wide receiver you can start every week. So in that context, I usually want to try to climb the wide receiver ladder, Gabe. But here we got JSN and Jeremiah Smith. I mean, a 27 first for Brian Thomas Jr. Gabe, I'll tell you what, I want BTJ over JSN, but I'm probably just going to stick with process here. Give me the similar player that can give me 75, 80% weekly, and the first, give me that side over Brian Thomas Jr. But I'm curious, in this context here, where are you coming down on this?
I mean, Jeremiah Smith over BTJ, right? It's got to be. So then it's just a free Jackson Smith and Jigba. No, man, I think I agree with you, though. JSN and the first, again, I really like BTJ and what he's done. And he was one of the rookies that took off, man. Like he didn't have to have any time to really develop. Like he took off and hit the ground running. Whereas Jackson Smith, a lot of people liked him coming out, but it did take a little bit of time for him to get up and running. And so people got a little sour on him, right? Because again, the expectations were really high. But now that he's actually doing what everybody was wanting him to do previously, like he's ascended the ranks of Dynasty very, very fast. And I don't anticipate that to slow down anytime soon, especially with maybe Tyler Lockett retiring. You know, we'll see, but it should be wheels up for Jackson Smith. So I would take Brian Thomas Jr. over Jackson Smith, but you add in a first or Jeremiah Smith to Ty's point, give me Jackson Smith in the first over BTJ.
Yeah. Again, if you don't know, it's a bit of a joke. Every fantasy creator they're calling their 27 first Jeremiah Smith, so we're hopping on board. But I did a little pre-show scouting here, and I think this is a good one to use the Trinity tracker to kind of break down how we feel in this one. So let's get us over here. Let's get this over here. Bang! Look at this, nice and neat. Okay, so I got 2024. I got weeks 1 through 17 with both Jacksonville and Seattle pulled up here. So you see we got Brian Thomas Jr. leading the way, 7.24. You can kind of see the distribution on the team. Brian Thomas Jr. well above, the Ingram, the Kirk, and the rest of the team. JSN, 6.52 on the whole year. DK Metcalf was technically the better Trinity receiver when you zoom out the whole year. But a couple interesting things happened when I was kind of poking around. So, I think week 9 was JSN's big week. That was one of his first real big ones. And I think in week 17, he had a bit of a smaller game. So week 10 was Brian Thomas Jr.'s bye week, I believe. And then he had a bad game in there somewhere. But look at this JSN, 7.92 in that period of time, weeks 9 through 17. Brian Thomas Jr., 7.44 Trinity. Again, both well above the rest of the pass catchers on their team being used in an elite fashion. But if we zoom out in just the last weeks 11 through 17, it's Brian Thomas Jr. in a landslide. 8.56, almost pushing 9. JSN 7.68. So the point of this, both these wide receivers definitely have some juice. Okay. And in general, like I said, with a start 2 tight end, start 10, the quality of wide receiver I want goes up. It's more condensed. Give me the better wide receiver. But just in general, in that range that we're talking, I'm just going to bet that what we've seen is going to continue, and I will take the first with JSN. And I'll give you the better wide receiver. Give me the package.
Yeah. And I mean, looking at it too, I don't remember, Ty, but when did Trevor Lawrence get injured and when did Mac Jones take over?
That's a good question. Trevor.
I was going to say, because if it was, towards the end of the season, basically all Mac Jones, then maybe we can, I don't like to say this, but maybe we can expect a little bit of a regression, just a small regression with BTJ, since he wasn't performing that highly with Trevor Lawrence. I mean, who knows? But yeah, the point is he's very good at football. Very, very good.
Yeah. I mean, they got Cohen coming in the building now that not Schottenheimer, now that Balky's out as GM. So, they got that coming in. I've heard that Travis Etienne is going to be Bucky Irving now. So, I don't have that stuff pulled up for Trevor Lawrence's injury, but that was right in that range, right? So that probably was definitely hyper targeted, and that tells me again he is an alpha dog. So I'm not unwavering on Brian Thomas Jr., but I'll still take the package and get into one of my first JSN shares at cost. So good stuff. Brandon, BG-C, the man who keeps DD's wheels running behind the scenes. We got a 12 by 13 lineup league. 12 teams, start 13 lineup. It's a Debbie depleted league. So, there's going to be a pool of players that aren't in this. So we're assuming your Ashton Genties, your Travion Henderson, your Emeka Ibuka, probably the Tets. Yep. They're all probably already on teams. Start 2 tight end, rushing bonuses, and super flex. When you say rushing bonuses, super flex, and you hear Lamar Jackson, that's usually pretty good. And Brandon gets into Lamar Jackson. Sends away Dak Prescott, Brandon Aiyuk, and the 101. So, Gabe, Debbie depleted league, that 101, we're probably looking more like a mid-first, because there's always players that squeak through, for sure. There's always going to be someone there. It's not totally depleted, but it doesn't have that same oomph. You got Dak and Brandon Aiyuk. So in this 12 by 13 lineup, Debbie depleted, I'm taking Lamar over the package. I'm curious how you would feel if this was just simply the 101, like if it was a full class, how you would feel in a 12 by 13 here. But in this context, I'm going to assume you're going to want Lamar.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think in the context of this league right here, I mean, again, even if it was the actual 101, I think I'd want the Dak Prescott side at that point because of what I can do with that 101. I could probably you can tear down, man, from that first pretty easily and get 2 firsts. And then if you're talking 2 firsts, Dak Prescott and Brandon Aiyuk for Lamar Jackson, like at that point, I think it's definitely a very different conversation. Yeah. But knowing just how, we don't know how depleted it is, but to your point, I'd imagine like the guys who have been highly touted for many, many years now at this point are probably gone in these Debbie leagues. And so you could probably even call that like a mid to later first, like in general terms, right? Depending on the player pool. I mean, Quinshot Judkins, I'd imagine probably would be gone too, like Henderson, Luther Burden probably too, depending on how deep the Debbie pool was. So yeah, man, I would lean Lamar, but if it was the regular 101, then I might lean that side just because of what I can do with that first.
Yeah, it's an interesting conversation. I think it just speaks to how shaky some people feel in the 101 in this class in general. If that was the full 101, because I mean, if we were talking 2024 101, I bet people would.
Oh yeah, that was Caleb. That was.
Aiyuk.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. If that was Caleb or Marvin Harrison at the time, or it was easily going to be the 101 and Dak and Aiyuk.
Yeah. So like I said, we're going to talk about this class more than what we can. But I mean, yeah, Brandon, give me Lamar here. Love that for you. Good way to use the name value of 101, but as you zoom in, it's probably not the same. Drew C. Got a 12-team start 9, super flex, 0.5 tight end premium, so 1.5 total. And it's a best ball league, Gabe. So 12 by 9 best ball. Pretty shallow. So, again, I want hammers for sure. I'm not ignoring my roster construction, and I still need to fill out every single roster spot that I have. But, I'm a little more, I'll find the right times to tier up in a 12 by 9. So Drew C. sent away Zamir White and Bucky Irving. Gets back Isaiah Likely, Isaiah Pacheco, and Jalen McMillian. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say Bucky Irving's the best player in this deal, Gabe.
Pretty easily, yep.
Again, 12 by 9. I want hammers. If I was receiving Zamir White in this deal, I would probably consider cutting him as soon as I hit accept.
It's a negative. He's a negative in the deal.
yeah, I'd have to take up a roster spot for that. I don't know. Likely we'll see. Mark Andrews is poo-pooed right now because of how he ended the season. Likely had a good end as well. Isaiah Pacheco, TBD. Jalen McMillian, a nice piece, especially to make a deal with. I like using McMillian. But in a 12 by 9, Gabe, how are you feeling? Bucky, Zamir White, or the likely Pacheco and McMillian package?
Man, this is a good one because I think in a best ball league, I've said it before, like I like to lean the side that has more assets coming back, right? And to your point, Zamir White is nothing. I mean, you can cut him. So basically a 3-for-1. Normally I'm going to lean that 3-for-1 side. I like Jalen McMillian. I like what he's done this year as a rookie. I think he's going to be a really good third option depending on what happens with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin in the offseason. Again, I anticipate they would be back for Tampa Bay, but you never know how things shape out, right? And so I know that he's gotten a lot of buzz right now with Chris Godwin being out. He's been a really good number 2 for Tampa Bay, and I'm excited to kind of see what he does, right? Now, where I start to question this a little bit more, Ty, is Isaiah Pacheco, right? You are the Kansas City homer here as hey, as we saw last week, you were rocking the sweatshirt and everything, man. Letting me know that you guys were going to beat us, and lo and behold, you did come out victorious on that one. So I'd be curious to know what your thoughts are on Isaiah Pacheco, right? Because he was a guy that wasn't highly drafted at the time. I mean, I think he was somewhere in the range of like the 5th through 7th round. I don't know exactly where he went, but he wasn't a guy that you were like, oh, this guy's going to be fantastic for my team, until he started showing it. Once he started showing more flashes, people really bought in. But as of late, man, he's being out-touched by Kareem Hunt. And if you watch the KC games, like Kareem Hunt really has just looked like a plotter. Like it really hasn't been great. And I know he just came back from an injury not too long ago, so I don't want to discredit that. But how do you feel about Pacheco long-term? or I guess moving into next year?
I appreciate how you keep kind of putting your own feet to the fire to stop me from bringing up the fact that, like I said, KC beat your home team, the Texans. So I won't put my finger in the wound. I won't rub any salt in. But I do appreciate you keep trying to like throw punches at yourself to stop me from throwing punches at you.
Hey, that's the best way to deflect it. If you can't make fun of me if I'm already making fun of myself, right?
As a fat child who went to middle school, I hear you. I was the first one to make fun of me. So yeah. I mean, Pacheco, I'll tell you what, I was never down with the 201 late first price that you find on Pacheco in the last offseason. So as far as a dynasty buy opportunity, I think you can get Pacheco for a second pretty easily. I think people will give that up at this point. So if you wanted to get into a running back like a Pacheco, I think it's a good cost to do so. I agree, right? Like his return, he didn't really return. Like I was told Kareem Hunt was dead as soon as, Pacheco started practicing again. And turns out, that the plotter was able to hold him off. And hell, I fractured my ankle in April of 2024, Gabe. And even to this day, like I'll do activity and my ankle will be a little sore, give out a little bit on me. So you never really know how you're going to recover from broken bones. So I think with a whole offseason behind him, and please don't hear me and say that I am comparing myself to an NFL athlete with all the resources available. But sometimes
Isaiah
it just,
Declare over here. Confirmed.
Isaiah Declare is what they call me in the streets. Yeah. But I am willing to give Pacheco the pass because he does things that people like. He runs like the grass is angry, or that he's angry at the grass. Like, he is someone that people like. And I think that if he does start to show it again, people will be 2 feet back in. I am interested to see how the running back landscape with Bucky and everyone shifts as the 25 class enters, and what happens with some of the veterans. But I am fine buying in Pacheco at a price that was better than what it was last offseason. Aside from that, I'm not anticipating Pacheco is reaching the same heights that he did before.
Yeah. Okay. And then Isaiah Likely, you kind of touched on it already, right? But I mean, he's a really good tight end dart in a not so great tight end landscape. He's not a guy that you're wanting to start, because there are going to be games where he can give you not nothing, but pretty close to nothing. And then you've got, obviously, he still has Mark Andrews there, who is still the top dog in Baltimore. So yeah, man, I think talking about it that way, like, if we're saying a second for Pacheco, we probably could get a second for McMillian, maybe, and then another second for Isaiah Likely. So like 3 pairs of seconds for Bucky. Like, I don't know, Ty. I like the options in best ball, but in a start 9, man, it's you want the guys who can make the difference, and I feel like Bucky can make a bigger difference in that context. I don't know. What do you think about that?
I don't disagree with how you broke that down.
Yeah.
I think, in a best ball lens, I love Likely. I don't have to choose when to start him, and when he does spike, he spikes hard. He had 61 points in HVV week 1. It was incredible. Pacheco, again, I think if he can get healthy, and he will likely have a role, I don't really see KC going out and addressing running back, but maybe they do. Who knows? Jalen McMillian, he's hit a second. I think that's probably fair, but I think people who have him want more. And I think if you add him into a deal, I think you can get like a perceived early second, or some kind of value like that for a McMillian, especially how he ended the season. Like I said, it's a 3-for-1 for me. It's not a 3-for-2 with Zamir White.
Yeah.
I'd like to say, from a best ball construction total point standpoint, that, give me the package. I'll fill out that way. I don't need to lock in Bucky, but I really can't hate anyone in a 12-by-9 going Bucky. I'm going to go the package, likely Pacheco, McMillian, lean on best ball. I don't need to win at running back in January, but I think you're absolutely right that Bucky could be the difference maker in a league like that.
Yeah, no, and again, I think if Pacheco were to get back to where he was before, then this is easily the Pacheco and McMillian and Likely side. I just think you can do a little bit more with the name of Bucky right now than the name of Likely, Pacheco, and McMillian. So yeah, I mean, again, pretty split there. So I definitely would be interested to hear what you guys think. I think I'd lean Bucky a little bit. But I definitely can't hate anybody for taking the package, especially in a best ball league.
Absolutely. Yeah, let us know what you think, and I'm sure we'll touch base on Bucky later on in the show here again. So we'll circle back. Okay, Matt. I know Matt threw in some context down here, so let's take a look. So here's one. It's a 12-team start 9 super flex. It's a 0.5 PPR, no tight end premium. This team has Drake May, J.J. McCarthy, Bucky Irving, here he is, Brian Thomas Jr., Tucker Kraft, 101, 17, 111, 21, 26, 28, 211, bunch of thirds, tons of 26 firsts, 5 more firsts. So a lot of liquid assets. We punted the startup last year, and just looking to, you traded away assets, you got the 101. You got an inbox offer here. So again, 12 teams start 9, 0.5 PPR. 1-7, 111, and 2-6 in exchange for CeeDee Lamb, Deontay Johnson, Stephon Diggs, and Zach Moss. So, Gabe, are you trading away, 1-7, 111, and 2-6 for CeeDee Lamb straight up? And how do you feel on this deal?
Oh, man. I think my phone would be broken from hitting accept. And if I were in Wallach, I would be very happy to spend my winnings on this league to repair my phone screen because, I mean, this is a free Stephon Diggs, Deontay Johnson, and Zach Moss, whatever that is, and Zach Moss. I mean, I would definitely take that. I would take CeeDee Lamb over that package just by himself. So you're just giving me additional players just to see kind of what happens, right? I would be more than happy to take CeeDee Lamb over the package for sure.
What the dog doing?
This is another one of those deals. I would just cut Zach Moss as soon as I hit accept. My phone would sound like I just accept, and then the FBI trying to break in, actively stopping me from trying to make this robbery happen. But I'll just take CeeDee Lamb, man. Again, it's a shallow league. Just give me CeeDee Lamb. I'm not. I don't think we have to go too deep into that one, Gabe.
No, not at all. Not at all, my friend.
Cool. Shane, our boy Shane. 12 teams start 11.2 point per carry, and it's a super flex league. Here he is, Bucky Irving. So Bucky Irving being sent away. Shane gets 106 in a 2026 third. So, Gabe, we got this deal. Let me know what you're thinking. While you're doing, I'm going to pull up Dynasty Daddy's trade database. I want to see what Bucky's going for right now. So you take this away. What do you think on this deal? And then we'll pull up some of the deals.
Yeah, I mean, first off, what's going on with Bucky? I mean, everybody's wanting to either acquire or move Bucky right now. No, but yeah, hot commodity, as we can tell right now. So I think for me, Ty, this one's a really interesting deal because the 106 is a pick that I like. I think you're going to be able to get some pretty good guys here at the 106. And as we continue into the offseason, we've talked about it before, that pick should be accruing more value, especially once we see the combine and even once we see them be selected in the draft. But 106, I don't have the latest ADP pulled up in front of me, right? But I know 106, you're looking at like Burden, Egbuka, maybe Henderson. You've got a couple of guys. You've got a couple of good guys, right? I guess is the point that I'm trying to make, right? You've got a couple of good guys there. So Bucky is one of those guys, man, who he kicked out Rachaad White, man, pretty convincingly. Like he came in and he just did his thing. He did his thing, and I really like the Tampa Bay offense right now and everything that they've got going on. And so I feel like if I were to be making this move, you would be hoping that 106 can turn into a player like Bucky. And in a 0.2 point per carry where it favors the running back even more, I feel like I kind of lean the Bucky side. I don't know, man. How do you feel about that?
Yeah. I pulled up a couple of things. So one, I pulled up some Adico startup ADP data. So I don't have it really filtered out by much other than Superflex and all that. So Bucky Irving was a pick 40, so round 4 in like average startup ADP in real dynasty leagues. The 106, middle of the 6th round.
Oh,
so, yeah,
that I did not expect.
So like I'll read you the 4th round right here. 102, Jonathan Taylor, Kyler Williams, Bucky Irving, Baker Mayfield, Brock Purdy, Rashee Rice. So that's the range that people are talking Bucky right now.
Oh man,
I don't think I'm personally there with Bucky, but I can't fault anyone for it because Bucky's pretty well earned that kind of like running back oomph from his season. But we also know what's coming in, right? Like there's a lot of running backs, a lot of ways to solve that problem. So I'm interested to see how that shakes out. But let me pull over here. Let me pull up the. Let me get us off to the side. Boom. We are a professional entity here. Bang.
What I was going to say too is I kind of agree with you, right? I don't know if I'm there with Bucky. I like Bucky a lot. I don't think that I'm there for damn near the 103. It's kind of what. But this is where in the fantasy landscape, man, you can get an edge on people. Like if that's where the ADP is telling you that Bucky is at, I would be actively looking to shop my Bucky Irving if I'm getting a return like that. Like if I can get a 103, 104, that's a deal that I'd be willing to make. Again, this is an average, right? It's talking the average. So all startups right now, he is going ahead of the 103 and 104. Like if you can make that pivot, I would be more than happy to do that, man. More than happy to do that.
Okay, before we get to Dynasty Daddy, let's just do a little exercise. Let me a little would you rather. I'm just gonna kind of read down a list. You tell me, okay? Bucky or this player, okay? Bucky or T. Higgins?
Bucky or T. Higgins?
And just we'll say full PPR. Just put it there, full PPR.
I'm gonna say Bucky.
Bucky. Okay. 103 or Bucky?
Oh, 103.
Okay. Jared Goff or Bucky Irving?
God. Do I need a quarterback? Because if not, probably Bucky, but I don't love that either.
I love that answer. That says a lot without saying it. I like that.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave you in the dark on your context, but Josh Jacobs or Bucky Irving?
I would say Bucky.
Okay. Roma Dunze or Bucky Irving?
I think Bucky.
Bucky. Michael Penix or Bucky Irving?
God, Ty, why are you doing this to me, man? I kind of lean Penix.
Penix, yeah. I'm there with you on Penix. I think.
Yeah, kind of lean Penix.
Okay, but like Trevor Lawrence for Bucky, where are you going?
Oh no, Bucky. I'll take Bucky.
Okay, so the hope of Penix is what gets there.
Yeah. The hope of what Penix could be sends me over. I've seen 3-4 years now of Trevor Lawrence. I kind of know what I'm getting with Trevor.
Okay,
Lawrence.
I got you. Okay, so let's pull up Dynasty Daddy again here. I think my point in this is just look at some of the names that are involved in deals with Bucky. He does have a lot of oomph behind his name. So I mean, again, Penix, Odunze, Young, 103 for Bucky, Lamar, 28. The deal's more about Lamar here, but again, Bucky's included in that. Bucky, Bryce, and 1.5 for Burrow and 111, Gabe.
Yeah, Bucky, Bryce, and 105. I mean, that's Burrow, dude.
That's Burrow side pretty
that's
handily
Burrow.
in a 12 by 10.
I had to read the trade again, but yeah, that's Burrow, man. Dude, that's it. That's crazy.
That's pretty crazy. That if Bucky has that kind of oomph, that's pretty crazy. Penix in a 12-team start 11. Penix, Irving, and Pitts. It's like a nice package for Bijan and 307. Damn.
That's a great cash out, man, for Bijan.
That's a great cash out. Bucky and JSN for Pearsall and May. Talk about a cash out for May.
Yeah, I like that too, man. I like that. I will take Jackson Smith and Jigbo and Bucky Irving. I mean, that 103. Come on now, Bucky Irving, 103.
Come on. Bucky for 1.6 and a third. There's Shane's deal right there. Bucky or Dak? 12 by 11.
I'm gonna take Bucky.
Take Bucky.
Probably
okay.
It's pretty close though. I think I would still take Bucky.
Bucky or Ladd?
Oh no, I would take Ladd. I think I would take Ladd over Bucky.
We're aligned there. Okay, so
on both, you would take Bucky over Dak too.
Yeah, I think when it comes to like the quarterback and trying to solve that right now, I don't want to make a deal where then I'm doing it because I need to lock up quarterback, whatever number on my roster. And as soon as the deal's over, if I'm in a startup, I would be picking the other player over the thing I just traded away. I feel like I would be right there with Bucky. Coming back to this deal, I mean, 1.6 and a third. I don't really feel like 1.6 makes me any more flexible than Bucky does. And
I mean,
I don't know if
oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. You go. You got this.
I was just gonna say. I mean, it feels like after the exercise we just did, it feels like Shane left a little meat on the bone, right?
A little bit, but again, we're in January, so now watch as we get to the combine and as we get closer to the draft, and these quarterbacks. Oh my God, they're not chosen in the 6th round. What? And we have to actually make decisions on these things. Watch the 106 rise, right? Yeah. But I think here today, knowing how people are valuing Bucky, maybe Shane tried a bunch of other deals and couldn't get one for Bucky, but I don't think it's a bad price, but I think I'm taking Bucky.
Yeah, I think I'm right there with you, my friend. I think I'm right there with you. I honestly, though, I'll tell you, I did not think that, like I knew Bucky had a lot of name value, name cachet. Did not think it was 103, 104.
No.
I did not expect that.
Did not expect that. So very, like I said, I think probably a theme here is like, what would you cash out for? I mean, Brian Thomas Jr., I'm cashing out for JSN in a first, right? Like, Lamar, I'm not cashing out on Lamar for this package. But, you know, like there's probably some assets we can look at cashing out on. I think Bucky Irving at his price is one of them. So let us know in the comments. What would you trade away your Bucky Irving for? Like, what is a good cash out price for you? Is it 106 and a third? Do you need more based on startup and everything that Dynasty Daddy's telling us? I mean, you can do things with Bucky. So,
yep. Agreed.
Okay. Roy G hit us with 3 deals here. Took over an orphan. No picks at all in 2028. So just a pure orphan. Don't got to pay till 2028. So he's burning it to the ground. Got a 12 team, start 10, 2-point PPR for tight ends. First deal. We got Penix and a 26 first being acquired for Joe Mixon, CMC, Terry McLaurin, and Jordan Mason. So Jordan Mason, I guess he counts as any running back on a 53.
Yeah, he does.
CMC, Mixon, McLaurin. I feel like McLaurin might be the different conversation, but are you taking a first over most of the assets in this deal?
Yes, I would take a first over all the assets in this deal outside of Terry McLaurin. I would want Terry McLaurin over a first.
I was about to go over to Dan Lamagna's house, borrow his challenge flag, and throw it on you there if you were going to say
right.
The first. But I don't think everyone's there with us that, you know, McLaurin is worth a future first. But maybe the run here in the playoffs will change that for some. But I mean, looking at this, Mixon, McCaffrey, yeah, like they're veteran running backs. They are what they are in season. In the offseason, they probably shouldn't hold much weight. McLaurin, nice wide receiver. Like having McLaurin. If I can buy him for cheap, I'm here for it. But I'm gonna take Penix in the first. Give me the sex appeal. Give me the artificial dynasty value. Give me the quarterback. Just give me the flexibility, Gabe.
Yeah, no, I mean, first shout out to Roy G, taking over an orphan that does not have any picks until 2028. Doing the Lord's work, man. Doing the Lord's work. That was a league that I'm sure they thought they were gonna have to nuke because nobody was gonna want to take that over. So just shout out to you, my friend. And then, yeah, I think to agree with you, Ty, I would want the 2026 first over all the assets outside of Terry McLaurin. And then Michael Penix, man, I'm hopeful. I am hopeful for what he will become. And so I will take Penix over Terry McLaurin for sure. And so in that context, give me the Penix and the 26 first side instead of the Joe Mixon, Christian McCaffrey, and Terry McLaurin side.
I do think Penix for McLaurin's an interesting conversation to see where people come down, but I think McLaurin will end up falling into that just wide range wide receiver where people don't know what to do and they'll just choose whatever one's available or cheaper. So
yeah, I mean, and he's getting older too, according to the NFL age, right? And so he's one of those guys where you probably don't want to spend a first for him, but the price is a first. And I know for the longest time it was like, just get Terry McLaurin a quarterback. Now he's got a quarterback, man, and now he's doing really good things. And again, to your point, people still aren't like fully committed to wanting to pay a first for him.
Yeah. Same league, Gabe. 12 by 10.
Yeah.
109 or DK Metcalf. Was it a full point PPR? Yeah, full point PPR. DK Metcalf or 109. I know DK is your boy. So 109. And an orphan. No picks till 2028, Gabe. Are you trading away DK for 109?
I don't love it, but I can't hate it either. I really like DK, man. He's one of the guys that I probably have too much of him as far as ownership percentage goes, and he's a guy that I really like to have and invest in because I think his production's a little bit better than what you can probably sell him for. I would be okay with doing this deal because it doesn't seem like if he's trying to get assets right now, like trying to get younger, I'm okay to make the pivot to the 109. I don't know that you can necessarily do much better than maybe 108, for DK Metcalf or so, right? Because at some point he's going to start falling into the flat range of wide receivers if he's not already there because of his production the past couple of years, right? Like we've been waiting for him to do something, and it's kind of been relatively flat. Jason really took over the backfield this year, or not the backfield, but the wide receiver room this year. And he's been incredible, man. So I can't fault anybody for wanting to take the 109 over DK Metcalf.
I'm just looking at Dynasty Daddy here. I see a DK for 108 in a 12 by 9. The thing that's really standing out to me is how much DK's name is getting discounted in some of these deals. I mean, DK Metcalf for 26 first straight up. I don't hate that. DK in 111 or JSN in 28.
Oh man, I think I would want DK in the pick.
I think so.
JSN in the 20 what? 6?
208, I think.
208. Yeah, man. I would. Yeah, I would still take DK Metcalf in the 111.
Yeah. Bucky Irving, DK Metcalf in 111 or Brian Thomas Jr.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
Bucky, DK, and the 111 for BTJ?
Yeah.
No, I would take the package over BTJ.
My point being,
man,
DK is now in that lump him in the package of wide range guy. I think we're already there, Gabe.
Yeah.
But, I mean, again, I want shots in this class. I think it truly comes down to what you can do more with. If I don't... Man, I think I might just take the buy low on DK there. Lockett's out of the way.
Okay.
Geno should keep going.
I love it.
I think I'm just going to take DK there because that doesn't feel correct to me right now. Because people are poo-pooing the class. 1.75, any kind of tight end premium. I don't even think Tyler Warren's going to be there. I think you're going to get a shot at a nice asset at 1.9.
Yeah.
Luther Burton, Ibuka, Henderson might fall. Judkins might fall there. Who knows where the quarterbacks end up? But I like the players in that range. But I think I might just take DK, man.
I love it. Hey,
just
stick
bet
to the
on
guns, man.
Bet on the former. Remember when he was #1 dynasty asset? That was wild.
Fun times. If we go back and do an exercise of the names that have been like the #1 or #2 at their position, remember Javonte Williams, RB2?
Oh yeah, that was big time. Big time.
Great times.
Just the best of times. One more different league from Roy here. 12 by 11, 2.0, 0.2 point per what? 0.2 point per reception? Is it a 0.2 point per carry? Anywho,
I think it's 2 PPR. Yeah, it's a 2
PPR. It's a period after that. Okay. 2 PPR tight end premium. Okay. No tight ends.
Maybe tight ends are carrying the ball. I mean, maybe tight ends are carrying the ball. 2 points per carry. Who knows?
Hey, big shout out to Bowers. Going to be taking handoffs next year here with the new offensive court. Anyways, Herbert and 107 being acquired for Justin Fields, Caleb Williams, and 1.9. I'll tell you what, Gabe. I want Herbert over Caleb. Are you there with me?
I am there with you. I am excited though about Ben Johnson. I am excited about Ben Johnson, so I do want to add that in. I am excited about what he can bring to this offense. But yes, I will still take Justin Herbert over Caleb Williams.
I am excited that people are excited that Ben Johnson is taking over. I am. I really much am. I hope the best for that situation and for everyone involved. Herbert, like me some Herbert, even in a low passing expectation offensive, he still did his thing. He has a lad that people like that offense. They want him to succeed. I'll take Herbert over Caleb. I'm going to take 107 over 109. I'm going to go out on a limb there.
Are you? But wow, hey, that's a hot take. That is a hot take.
I know. I stand on business here. So I will take the 107 over the 109. I don't think Justin Fields makes up that difference, Gabe.
Oh, no, man. I mean, getting any sort of value for Justin Fields is a win. And then you're telling me that I can move up 2 draft spots and all I have to do is add in Justin Fields? Good job, Roy G. Good job, man. You were the perfect person to take over that orphan, let me tell you.
Oh, yeah. No, you're doing the Lord's work and you're getting some God deals. So good stuff.
Exactly.
All right. We got a couple more on us here, Gabe. Pound to Rock 34. 12 teams, start 10, Superflex, lineup, PPR, 0.5 tight end premium, a 5-point passing touchdown. They earned the 101 and they need that second quarterback behind Jaden Daniels. So of the 101, the 1.5, and 201 in 2025, Gabe. So Jared Goff and Travis Etienne being acquired for 106 and 204. So Gabe, I mean, I come at this from a couple different angles. One, do I really need to have my quarterback 2 solved in January when I have Jaden Daniels? Like, do I really need to do that? And then the other side of me is like locking up a Jared Goff for, a 106. I want to make sure I'm not doing the thing where I take the quarterback over the asset that I clearly would want more in Dynasty just to have the quarterback. But it's not a bad price to buy into Goff. So wait, 106 and 2-4 or Goff and ETN.
Yeah, I mean, I would venture off to say, Ty, I don't know if this is hot takey or not, but I think I would take the 204 over Travis Etienne.
I would as well, but again, people are calling him the next Bucky Irving because Cohen's taking over. So be a lot of Bucky talk on the show. But.
I feel like we expected that a couple years ago, right?
Yes.
So I don't know how much stock I'm going to put into that. So I feel like getting the 204 for Travis Etienne, I feel like that's a nice re-roll where you can pretty much get another asset and just see what comes of it. The 106 though for Jared Goff, to your point, I think right now you don't need to solve your quarterback situation in January, and you have a lot of other picks. Like you have the 101, you have the 105 and the 106. So I felt like this gives you a little bit of flexibility towards where maybe you don't have to select a quarterback. So I do like that aspect of it, right? Where now you're like, I can just take the best player available because I don't need to take a quarterback. So I do like that, and I don't want to discredit that, but I feel like I can do more with that 106 man than I can with Jared Goff. Like I feel like once combine, once preseason, once draft comes around, everything, like I feel like you will be able to do more with that 106 than you can with Jared Goff right now, especially since the Lions are now out of the playoffs and everything. So I expect Goff to be the starter, locked in and everything. So I don't think he's going anywhere, but I think he's just going to kind of stay where he's at, where you have a pick that can accrue a little bit more value. And again, I mean, depending on how, like if Shadur goes in the top 3, like at that point, you'll probably select him with your number 1 pick. And then now you're like, okay, what do I do with Goff? Now you just have a QB headache. I feel like in a lineup league where you have 3 QBs, right? When you're just like, who do I roll out week to week? And so I would hold the picks for now, Ty. I think I would just hold the picks for now. I wouldn't make this trade. Just see kind of what happens. And again, I think you can always buy Goff for the 106 at any given point in the offseason. Like, I don't think that's a deal that you need to make right this second.
Yeah. This is a good deal. I like the way you argued both sides of that and the way you approach that. Because I agree. Like if I have 101, 115, like all these other picks, I want to approach that with as little, hopefully, holes to fill so I can just go BPA, play the market, what have you. I think getting Goff, I think that does accomplish that, like you said. But then it comes down to, do I want to spend 106 to do that? We just talked about Matt Stafford, Geno Smith for a second in 2026. I would much rather go out and get that guy to solve my QB2 in January than blowing the 106 on Goff. I think, I know because I have Goff in a bunch of spots. I wasn't able to sell Goff for any first one off season ago. And now we're giving up again a 106, which I just feel like the value of this class is going to keep on creeping. So
every year, man, it's the class isn't that great. And then you get to the combine and you're like, oh, that guy's actually pretty good. And then they get drafted high and you're like, that guy's going to be pretty good. And the next thing you know, it's, wow, this has actually turned out to be a half decent class. Like it happens every single year.
Like I said, God forbid that Cam Ward or Shadur Sanders or Tyler Warren even get draft capital in the top 10. Because then at a top 6 pick, you're looking at a top 10 quarterback, a top 10 tight end, or one of, like I said, a Genty, Tet, a Hampton, Caleb Johnson. Like they're at 106, you're sitting pretty there now. I'm going to lean on it. I'm going to say I can figure out my quarterback 2 problem to make myself flexible for cheaper than the 106 and 2-4. I'm going to let you hold on to the ETN hope. I'm going to take the picks 106, 2-4.
Yep. Boom.
Did it.
Mic drop.
Yeah, sure. Okay. But yeah, like I said, I like what you have there. You have a lot of flexibility and you can do that. I just don't want to pay 106 to do it. Okay. Let us know though. Hey, are we off? Is Jared Goff worth the 106 easily and you're moving on? Because if so, smash it right now. Lock it in. Let's get a little closer. There we go. Just a little bit closer. Here's our roster review giveaway. Look, 2:41 a.m. I'm assuming that's my time. In 12 hours it closes. So get in there. Hit this little button. We got 66 entries so far to hopefully win the roster review live with us, Gabe. Okay. That's it. Let's get one more in here, Gabe. Do you want to talk a 4-for-1 Josh Allen deal? Do we want to talk a Big Diaz best ball deal? We already talked about that one from Roy. Roy's double entering. This isn't a completed deal, but that would be really nice to talk about. Or do you want to talk about Mahomes, DK, Olave, Marv, Ladd, Herbert? We've kind of talked about those players already.
Yeah. I'm good with either Josh Allen or the Herbert one, man.
Let's go with Josh Allen here.
All right, let's give Bombadil some love. Come on.
I'm glad you took the first shot of that name. Bombadil 913 12-team Superflex 0.5 PPR start 9. It's a no tight end premium. You inherited a tough orphan with no first or seconds this year. Good on y'all for taking on some orphans,
doing
man.
The Lord's work, man. Doing the
Where's
Lord's work.
Little bit, it's a little applause to the community. We're picking up these tough situations. Anywho, so they had Josh Allen, Bowers, and Laporta. I mean, that's not a bad 12-by-9. That's not a bad orphan to take over with those kind of pieces already in place. Number one wide receiver was Ridley. Team needs a reset and some building some wide receivers. Took the chance at a young, promising wide receiver, a solid fantasy quarterback, and add a first to build some depth on the team. Bigsby was an add-in, and while I have no plans, perhaps it could be a trade piece during the season. Sure.
I love
so
that, yeah.
12-by-9. We're trading away Josh Allen, get into Kyler Murray, Marvin Harrison Jr., Tank Bigsby, and the 110. So, Gabe, there's plenty. Once you have these things on your team, maybe you can move 110 for a future first, or like you said, add quote unquote depth in a start 9. Marv, Kyler, you get the Cardinal stack, you get Tank Bigsby as hopefully a piece down the road. But I feel like if you punch this into a trade calculator, Gabe, you're gonna see like the Murray side probably has the most value. But I don't know if I'm moving Josh Allen for that in a start 9, Gabe. It's such a shallow league. Such a shallow league, man. I might just take the Josh Allen of it all and say I'm going to have that piece locked in. Even on this orphan, I can figure it out.
What was it? A 12-by-9.
12-by-9, 0.5 PPR.
Let me ask you this before we break down the trade real quick.
Yes.
What else would you be wanting to do with Josh Allen? You have no picks. You have 3 legit players. You have to do something. You have to down tier somewhere. And it's either going to be Bowers, Allen. I mean, honestly, you probably have to down tier all of them, if we're being completely honest, to get even a starting roster that's half decent. So what would you be looking to do, man, with Josh Allen? Like, where would you be wanting to go?
I guess if I had that core, I agree. I would have to down tier if I want to try to compete. But maybe I just don't try to compete year one. Maybe I just hold on to Bowers and Allen and just try to play waivers, play the value game, and try to push it in for 2026 maybe. I think it's a great time to buy in on Marvin Harrison Jr. if you're still a believer, if you think like the draft capital and it was just year one, and they're going to get it right, that Kyler's going to bounce back. You're getting both sides of that coin. You're getting a 110. Like I said, that's fine, but at this point, like 110 is definitely one of those picks I'm trying to either kick to the future or not be stuck making the pick if I can help it. Big V, you mentioned it's not really a big factor, but maybe you can get something for him. So again, I don't mind it from a value perspective. I just, in a start 9, man, I think I might just lock in Josh Allen and bet that if I want to try to compete, I can try to play it thin, play the value, and then just be easier to punt. I don't know. Maybe I'm being too stingy, but I think I might just want Josh Allen, man.
I mean, I think that's a little hot takey if I'm being completely honest with you, because if you were to break this down, man, from a value standpoint, like, dude, that's like Kyler Murray and 2.5 firsts, give or take, a value for Josh. Dang, guys, That's interesting, man. I mean, I don't hate it, but I feel like you have to do something with that Josh Allen, right? Like, regardless, he has no picks. Like he said that he has no picks, so you can't really like kick the can down the road unless you're kicking it down to like 27, really, because
Let's just see.
no picks
this year.
This year. Okay, so again, you'll be drafting in 2026, or you can trade those picks. So you really won't compete in 2026. You'll probably start competing in 27. So really, like, man, that's a long time to like hold on to some of these guys. I feel like, especially for, you're not going to be able to do anything. Like, you have to move these guys. So for me, I will say I don't love Kyler Murray. I was really hopeful for what he could become, but I would be okay to make this deal where I'm getting a down tier still at a mobile quarterback, and I'm still getting a highly touted wide receiver who I really do believe in. I think he's going to be very good. Again, we've talked about it multiple times. Some people just take a little bit of time to get up and running. And give me the 110 and take Bigsby. I know you don't love Kyler Murray either, but could you turn around, Ty, and put Kyler Murray in that 110 and get, I don't know, man, Justin Herbert, Burrow, something of that equivalent? Like, and then now you're talking Burrow, Herbert, Marvin Harrison for Josh. Like, it's a little bit better. Like, I feel like you can do more with that if you don't love the down tier to quarterback.
I
don't know, man. I don't know.
I'm here with you. I am. And again, from a cash out, like, what am I cashing out Josh Allen for? Yeah. I don't know if you can get more than this. I think I would, if that was a 26 first straight up, than a 110, I think I would feel more okay with it now. That's one less step I need to make. If that didn't say James Rob 51 and that said I Gabe, I think I'd probably be more on your side, because I know what you would do with that, right? You would take Marvin Harrison Jr., you would turn him into JSN and a piece. And you'd take Kyler Murray, you'd probably take just straight picks for him. You take the 110, buy into like
26.
Geno and a 26 first. I bet you could probably get that, right? So you would freak that deal. And if that's your plan and you can do that in your league, I have zero hate for it. I just know for me, in the spots that I've traded away Josh Allen because it's a good deal, I can understand it, I just end up creating more problems than what I know what to do with. And maybe at some point, I just want the player, and I'll figure out the value, the trade. I'll do it with the rest of my roster. But Gabe, I agree. For a cash out for this orphan, you want to split the baby, do it. I'm cool with it. Gun to my head, I'm probably just going to keep Josh Allen and bet that I can get this kind of a package at any point that I need it. And maybe.
Hey, I love the conviction, man.
Yeah,
I love the conviction. Like I said, you stick to your guns. Again, I think knowing the context where you have to do something with these players, I think this is probably as good as it's going to get. I don't think you can get much better than Kyler Murray, Marvin Harrison, and a first for Josh Allen.
You're probably right, man. You're probably right. But hey, you, the listener, thanks for sticking around. I really appreciate it. If you like this, hit like, hit subscribe. Let us know below. What are you cashing out on some of these players? The Bucky Irving, the Josh Allen. We had a couple of contacts from orphans here. So, what are you doing? Does it depend on the context? But what are you cashing out for? Are you taking the 4-for-1 for Josh Allen? Do let us know. Gabe, again, get in there. Let's get the roster review. We're ready to go. If you sign up using our codes, trades or trade GOAT, get 50% off at the All Conference Plus Discord tier or the GOAT tier. Let us know. We'll review your roster. We'll get that over to you. But get on in the Discord. Interact with us. We're here all off season. We're going to be live on stages. Everything's going to be popping over at DD. So, Gabe, anything else to leave the people with as we wrap up this Saturday edition of the All Gas?
No, my friend. We've got some great football to watch on tomorrow. So super excited to see how that goes down. And again, some of you guys, man, just keep doing the Lord's work over here with these orphans. Y'all are killing it. Super excited to just see once we create this trade show League 2 to get everybody in there. Hopefully, again, the more the merrier. We've said it before. And then we're super excited, man, to get the roster construction or the roster review down and helping all of you guys, right? As many as we can. Just set y'all's set yourselves up for success for next year.
Damn straight, Gabe. You said it, man. We are out of this thing at this point. We've said it all, Gabe. We've made the deals. The people have brought the Lord's work, like you mentioned.
Yep.
I hope you enjoy the Houston game. I mean, the playoffs this weekend, Gabe. I really hope you do. Other than that, again, thank you for the deals. Let us know. Are we off? Are we on? What are you cashing out for? Thank you. We appreciate you. And we are out of this thing. Peace.